So, As I Lay Dying, making another return. I think this is the third or fourth one at this point. And I told you guys, sorry, we're live on Twitch. I'm pointing at chat. If you're watching on YouTube later, you can go to twitch.tv/TankTheTech. I'm about to leave for tour, so we're getting lazy recording content on Twitch again. But I told you guys this was going to happen. Now, admittedly, it didn't go exactly how I thought it was going to. But when As I Lay Dying had the big issue earlier this year where all the members quit with all the stuff that was going on with Tim, people thought this band was going to be done. And I said, I don't think so, because we've seen tons of bands continue on that probably shouldn't, because there's always young people that are willing to play for bands to get their foot in the door, put something on their resume. Look at the Trapped, Puddle of Mud, Cradle of Filth, rotating door of musicians because people just want to get their name out there. Now, it seems like Tim found a band pretty easily, but I will say I was wrong about the young people trying to get a resume for the most part, because the band members that he found are not new young guys that are just trying to build resumes, I don't think. Like, he actually found some very talented members here. I know I said I was never going to talk about Tim Lambesis drama on this channel again, and technically this isn't Tim Lambesis drama because Tim didn't really do anything. That's not what we're talking about. We're just talking about As I Lay Dying, and I actually wanted to talk about three big things in this video. Who are the new members and where did they come from? Why would they join this band with the history that Tim has? And then at the very end, maybe give my opinions on how I think this is going to go. But to do a quick recap, I'm pretty sure the majority of people out there that are metalheads kind of know the backstory with Tim Lambesis and As I Lay Dying. But just in case you don't, very, very quick recap. In 2013, Tim Lambesis, the singer for As I Lay Dying, was arrested for trying to hire a hitman to kill his then wife. Yeah, that actually happened. And then he eventually went to court over it. In 2014, he actually did plead guilty to it. And then he got thrown in jail. He got a 6-year sentence, but he was actually let out on probation, parole. I think it would be parole. After 2 years. So he only did 2 years of time and then he was let out. He then ends up marrying a girl that I think, if I believe right, he met while he was in jail. Like, she wasn't in jail, but like he somehow had contact with her. They got married. Somewhere in this timeline, he announced that the band was coming back out with new music. He had new members. And then a few years later, he gets a divorce from that new wife. And then in 2020, he married, or was it 2020 or 2022? I think it was 2022. He got remarried again. And then a couple years later in 2024, they got divorced. And then the next year, 2025, the year we're in now, all this other crazy drama comes out where there's videos online of him screaming at his wife. And there's videos of him like crashing out. There's a video of him like kicking a dog, all this crazy stuff. And then all of the band members quit. So you've got years and years of crazy drama going on. The entire band that was with As I Lay Dying quit, all stating that they were present for situations where he like abused his ex-wife and all this other stuff. So that's where we're at now. And everybody thought this band was done, but they are not. They are back. So let's talk about that. So when it was announced that As I Lay Dying was coming back, Tim actually said that he actually had to sell all of his motorcycles and some other things to financially back this project. A lot of people were calling it a money grab just to get back out there, which, let's be honest, people are in a band because they want to make money and stuff. But to my knowledge, they have been dropped from Napalm Records and they are currently without a label. Now, As I Lay Dying is still listed on Napalm Records' website under their merchandise and stuff, probably because they still have rights to it. But their latest single that they just released was actually released under their own name on Spotify, and they used DistroKid, which is an independent publisher for like unsigned artists usually. So I don't believe they actually have label support right now in 2025, although they do have management. FM Music Management is their manager. They also work with bands like Testament, Death Angel, Biohazard, Venom Inc. Like, they have a little bit of business backing them, but no label. So financially, yes, he sold his motorcycles and now we're here. And a lot of people kind of laugh when we talk about the numbers because, you know, people like to say like, oh, Tim's not the issue. Well, numbers usually don't lie. And Tim is the only constant in As I Lay Dying. And over the years, there's been 15 different actual band members and then 11 other touring musicians, not including the 4 that just joined. So this is, like we talked about some other bands, one of those bands that has a revolving door of members coming in and out. But for the new guys that just joined, like I said, these aren't really like no-namers that I thought it was going to be, that were just like young, naive kids that were just going to join an established band. There's quite a few names in here that are interesting. The first name that comes up is Tim Young. He will be taking over drumming for As I Lay Dying. He is actually a schooled drummer. He's gone to music school. Very prominent name in the death metal community. He's played with bands like Hate Eternal, All That Remains, Vital Remains, Nile, Decrepit Birth, Morbid Angel, I Am Morbid, and now he's with As I Lay Dying. In 2006, which I realize is 20 years ago at this point, but it's still cool, he won the fastest feet title at the world's fastest drummer competition. I believe it was 872 bass drum hits in 60 seconds. To put that into perspective, that's 14 and a half bass drum hits on a drum head per second. It's pretty insane. It's not the world record, but he won the title that year, and that is quite insane. The next name in the band, and this one actually kind of blew me away because this is a very established name. Bill Hudson, Brazilian-American guitar player that is very well known with a lot of European acts. He's played with bands like the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, UDO, Sabotage, Night Rage, Vital Remains. Him and the new drummer, Tim, were in I Am Morbid together, so there's already a musical connection there. And he's also the current guitarist for German metal legend Doro Pesch. So it's not like this is a young guy that needs to join a band. He's even said online that he's been friends with Tim for years and years and years. And to him, he just wanted to join a band with friends and make good music. So, and with Tim in the band, a guy that he's toured with, there is already some connection there. Next person in the band that's going to be doing bass and vocals is Chris Clancy. Now, Chris was actually most known for being the singer and guitarist for a band called Mutiny Within. Not super big and popular anymore, but a lot of people might remember, specifically wrestling fans, you might actually know Mutiny Within and not realize it. They did the theme song for Evan Bourne in the WWE, and that's kind of what they're really known for. But he's also a big name in mixing and engineering and production. He's worked for a lot of different bands, whether it's just doing vocal production on albums or actual mixing and mastering. He's worked with Amon Amarth, Horizon Ignited, Cataclysm, Machine Head, and I imagine he's going to be doing a lot of this new As I Lay Dying stuff. I mean, he is credited with doing the mixing and mastering and engineering on their latest single, Echoes. So I gotta imagine he's going to be doing most of the stuff in the future too. The last new member of the band is probably going to be a name that some people don't recognize. This is the only one where I kind of would slightly chalk it up to the, you know, maybe a guy just trying to get into a band to build his resume, get his name out there. But it's not like he's a newbie to music by any means. His name is Don Veda. Don was a part of this post-hardcore kind of emo-core group called Jamie's Elsewhere back in the day for a few years. But his solo stuff that he's done after that is actually really, really good. This guy is actually a very good singer and a very good guitar player. I don't know much about him other than what I've just mentioned, but I've seen his social media and stuff like that, and he's always posting like his own music, and he's very, very talented. So I gotta imagine he'll be doing vocals in this band too. I know Chris, their bass player, was credited as doing vocals, so I don't know which one's gonna be doing like the leads and the clean parts that we hear on a lot of their songs, but I could confidently say it could be Don because he also has a very, very good voice. So now that we've gone through the new members, like the big question to me is why? Considering the fact that I can confidently say the majority of this music industry does not take Tim Lambesis seriously anymore. They just don't, man. Like behind the scenes in the music industry, people talk. There's probably a reason why there's not a lot of labels out there looking to pick them up. Although I gotta be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if a label picked up As I Lay Dying, because if there's money to be made, somebody's gonna do it. That's the same thing I said when Napalm Records signed them. But again, the question is, especially considering these guys all have a pretty strong musical background, like why join the band knowing what's happened before? I've seen some of the new members on social media, like Facebook, mutual Facebook friends and stuff like that, kind of arguing their position and their point with people, where the constant kind of thing that I see from some of these members is, you know, you guys don't know Tim like we know him. Have you ever spent time with him like one-on-one and, you know, behind closed doors and stuff like that? No, all you guys like to talk shit on the internet, which to their point, they have a point. A lot of us like to sit here and talk shit on the internet, and we don't know these people personally, But we've seen the things that have happened in the past. And I would like to bring up that these are the same things that like Phil and Nick and Ken and all those guys were saying when they rejoined As I Lay Dying before they just recently quit. Same things like, oh, Tim's changed. We're giving him another chance. Like, you guys don't know him like we know him. So it's kind of the same thing we're seeing here. So this might be just a broken record at this point. I will say, though, I did personally reach out to one of the new members of As I Lay Dying just to ask, like, I believe I said, like, hey, I'm just curious. Why join As I Lay Dying with all the stuff that people know about from the past? And while I won't share the specific conversation because I didn't tell them I would share it, I will say their general kind of tone and vibe from it was exactly what I saw other band members saying on Facebook. Was like, you know, we've been friends with Tim for years and years and years. And yeah, he's gone through stuff, but you guys don't know him like we know him. And, you know, he's changed since all this stuff has happened, and he's in a new, healthier relationship. So he's doing a lot better, and it's great to just be around and write music. And it's kind of funny for me to hear that because they're like, he's changed. He's in a new, healthier relationship. I mean, this is all, we're talking in the span of less than a year, all of this stuff has happened. So that's kind of wild to me, the whole he's changed thing. And listen, I firmly believe in giving people a second chance, and I do believe that people can change, but dude's on like his 6th chance now. It's wild, man. Like, people usually don't get this many chances. So they just are like, hey, we're friends with the guy. We want to be there for him. And that's what it is. And we're aware that it's not going to look good, but we don't care what anybody else thinks. And it's great to say that, but you're in the music business, man. Like, people are now going to associate your name with Tim Lambesis if things don't work out well. So going on from that to the last part of this, it's like, how do I think this is going to go? Like, how will this end? It's going to go one of two ways, man. The first way is that everything's fine and nothing happens. Like, maybe Tim is truly changed. Maybe this is a great lineup of people that he can work with. Maybe he is in a healthier relationship. Maybe he gets some therapy or just some help that he needs, and things go well this time. And people are probably going to hope for drama, and there's no drama. And then they have a successful album, they tour, and everything's cool. And you know what? At the end of the day, it's kind of what you hope for people. Now, I've got my own opinion on what Tim's done in the past and stuff like that. I don't listen to their music. I'll be 100% honest. I haven't listened to the new song. I won't listen to the new song because I just don't support it. But there's a lot of other people that do, and there's a lot of people who get a lot of enjoyment from As I Lay Dying music, and that's great. So if everything goes well, cool. The second way this could go, it's exactly how it's gone every time before, where something crazy happens and all of these guys are going to quit. And then there's going to be a shitload of people around them in the music industry and otherwise saying, told you so, because this has happened before and we told you it's going to happen again. And yeah, that's really about it. One of two ways. Everything works out for the way they want it to, or everything works out in the way that everybody expects it to work out. That's just kind of my take on everything. Again, I don't hope for anything bad for anybody. It's just you personally, not like I would get the offer anyways. You couldn't pay me enough to join As I Lay Dying. And I know a lot of other musicians out there in the industry, like personally, that Tim reached out to basically begging people to come play for him. And a lot of people said no. So I know that these people in this band, at least some of them, were not the first choices. Like, he went down a list because there's a lot of people in this industry that said no to joining this band. But he found some guys that would, and, you know, hopefully it doesn't reflect poorly upon them. Because like I said, the music industry is very small. It's not like these guys are new to it. But associating yourself with somebody that does have the history of Tim does not look good to a lot of people. But anyways, just wanted to kind of give you my thoughts, kind of give you the background to the new members and stuff like that. And yeah, that's about it. So to everybody on Twitch chat, thank you for being here. To everybody that's on YouTube later, you can go to twitch.tv/TankTheTech if you want to join. And yeah, there probably won't be any streams for a while because I'm about to leave on tour, but I appreciate you guys being here. So wherever you are in the world, be safe, be kind to each other. I love you all, and I will see you, well, usually I would say very soon, but I'll see you whenever, I guess.